welcome back. Today we're actually gonna be heading over to a very interesting neighborhood. It's really less of a neighborhood and it's more of an industrial park, and that would be the neighborhood of Willets Point. It's just kind of like an abandoned neighborhood. It's been neglected for a very long time, and I like to think of it as kind of like the little armpit of Queens, and it's home to a lot of repair shops, a lot of industrial work, industrial recycling. It's basically a junkyard. And funny enough, that's actually what Spanish-speaking people in the area refer to. Basically the junker. It's a junkyard. And the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get this car fixed, because you can see my power window isn't working. We're about to enter an area that is very, very different from the rest of New York City, and when we go inside, you'll see exactly why. It basically feels like we're in a different country. So we're trying to find right now a decent someone that can do this for us, do this window thing for us. Amigo,
primo.
necesito a alguien que me arregle esta ventana, el switch no funciona.
¿No funciona?
Sí.
Claro. Ahí el muchacho que está ahí, mira.
Okay. Let me go and talk to the guy real quick. He's agreed to do it for a reasonable price. So he's gonna be taking a look at the car. No lo puedes hacer.
No puedo hacer nada bien.
Alright, so it turns out that he can't really fix what's wrong with the window. I guess he deals more with the motor, and well, he diagnosed it and he said that the issue was the switch. So we're gonna go back to those guys on the corner, and we're gonna see if they can hook us up with somebody else that can actually get the job done. And so this area is home to over 2,000 workers, most of them illegal immigrants and undocumented people. There's a lot of culture here. Let's ask these guys right here real quick something. Amigo, ¿cuánto me cuesta para arreglar esta ventana que no me sube ni me va? Okay, me da su tarjeta. Okay, bien, gracias. Basically, the main industry here in Willets Point, as you can see, is a lot of auto repair shops. Basically anything that has to do with cars, you can find someone here to fix it, whether you need parts or you need a new motor. The upside of this place is that people here are open to negotiation. The downside is there's a lot of people trying to kind of hustle you, you know. I mean, I don't know a lot about cars, so there's a lot of people here that try to swindle you and try to take advantage of that. That's just one of the realities of this place, you know. It's just so unregulated, and again, so neglected that people don't really care what happens here. The streets here are basically destroyed. This neighborhood is situated on a floodplain, so the city never really bothered to install anything like sewers or piping, and they don't really care about, you know, the state of the streets, which is why this car is gonna wobble like crazy. You actually have to be very careful where you drive, because these aren't just your average everyday potholes. These are like gargantuan, like your car will sink in them potholes. So
No, aviso. Si quieres, mira más para abajo, está un muchacho, pregunta por Carlos.
Carlos?
Sí, Carlos. Más para abajo, más derecho, mano derecha.
okay, so he could have fixed the window for us, but he didn't want to be on camera. Totally understandable. Carlos, let's go talk to some Carlos. They're really tearing into it. So right now he's taking a look at the electrical setup of the door.
Somebody checked it before?
Nah, no.
You just bought the car?
I bought it maybe 4 months ago.
It never worked, right?
No, it never worked. No.
It's the regulator problem.
The regulator problem?
Yeah, you see, you can see it here. They put a screw to hold it up.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So what happened?
We need to get a regulator. We gotta put a new wire in it, so it would be like 150.
For the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Good?
Yeah, that works. This is typical here. I mean, like, this is like a normal scenario for me when I come to get something fixed, and I think it's one thing, but it's actually a multitude of symptoms and issues. It seems that the regulator, whatever that is, that's supposed to be in the door is missing. That's what I guess for buying a used car, I guess. But yeah, he's gonna find the regulator for us, and he's gonna be installing it, but it's gonna take a little while. So,
Ever.
¿te llamas? Bien. Bueno, a ver, ¿y cuánto tiempo llevas trabajando en este lugar?
Llevo cerca de 19 años. Es cierto, cuando yo llegué a este país, comencé a trabajar en un junkyard que había, se llamaba AAA. Estoy hablando de los años del 98. Sí, de ahí para acá, no siempre se habló de que esto lo iban a quitar, pero desde el 80 vienen hablando. Mi padre trabajó acá. Sí, mi padre trabajó acá y luego llegué yo, trabajé. He estado trabajando acá por 18, 19 años ya, desde el 98.
Ok, bien. ¿Y me puedes decir cómo es un día típico aquí? ¿Cuántos carros ves al día?
Hay días bajos, hay días buenos que se chequean muchos carros, hay mucho eléctrico acá de autos. Prácticamente pues un día que esté bueno, por decirlo así, se chequean de 8 a 10 carros. Podemos decir de que no hay temporada baja porque pues por la misericordia de Dios siempre tenemos trabajo. Ha cambiado mucho porque antes eran muchísimos más talleres, casi se puede decir que el doble de lo que está ahora. Que toda esa área que tú ves ahí, toda esa área eran talleres. Sí. Ya eso ya te acabó, creo que eso la ciudad pues lo ganó. Solamente falta esta parte que prácticamente creo que los dueños no han vendido. Aproximadamente nosotros tenemos por ahí unos 3-4 años más.
¿3-4 años más aquí?
Por lo que se oye decir.
Cuéntame, yo sé que había como un plan de reubicación para los negocios de aquí en el Bronx.
Eso se suponía,
sí.
Eso se suponía que había un plan de reubicación, pero eso era en el Bronx. Mucha gente no quiso irse para allá. Sí. Prácticamente los que estaban en otros talleres, lo que han hecho es que donde habían 2, ahora hay 4 o 5 personas. Pues yo creo que al cerrar acá, pues las cosas van a cambiar. Prácticamente a uno le tocaría pues poner otro taller en otro lado. Esos son los planes pues, de uno. No puede uno decir, bueno, se acabó esto, se acabó la vida.
Sí, claro, no,
hay que seguir pensar en el día de mañana, en qué se puede hacer. Para mí, pues es un lugar de decirlo así, bueno, porque pues, de aquí, gracias a Dios, yo tenía mi familia.
Sí.
De los 18 años, que yo llegué acá a los 16 años.
A los 16.
Y prácticamente no me puedo expresar más del lugar porque para mí ha sido una bendición.
Claro.
El lugar me ha ayudado a más que todo a mantener mi familia, organizar más los talleres.
Sí.
Pero eso sería una buena opción para nosotros también igualmente.
Claro.
Nos tendría que arreglar a todas las calles.
Claro. Sí, porque veo que las calles aquí son muy...
Se han deteriorado por el hecho de que no le dan mantenimiento. La ciudad no se ha descuidado de este lugar.
Claro.
Porque creen que esto es un botadero, pero en realidad aquí hay mucha gente que trabaja honestamente. Okay. Muchas familias se mantienen de acá. Claro. Eso sería bueno que en un tiempo más adelante lo remodelaran. Yo creo que hasta sería mejor.
Okay. Sí. Okay, muy bien. Muchísimas gracias. Hombre. We're still waiting for the regulator, which is kind of the thing that makes the window go up and down in my door. Actually, the interesting thing that I learned while I was speaking to Ever was how this place, although it is rife with competition, these people actually function together as one cohesive unit. You know, if one auto shop doesn't have a part, they'll call the next one to see if they have it, and they kind of cooperate like that. They help each other like that. They function as a community, and everybody's looking out for each other in a way.
It's ready? That was fast.
Is it? It is ready. It is ready. It works. Sweet.
Damn.
Ya, parce.
¿Ya? ¿Cuánto sale?
Ahí está prendido.
Ok, ya vi que funciona. Muchísimas gracias. Gracias por tu ayuda, man.
Todo bien. Ok.
Gracias.
Adiós.
Cuídense.
Mission accomplished. Our baby has a functioning window in the driver's seat now. Also, a gentleman over there by the name of Roberto offered to fix my air conditioning for $100, which is a great bargain. The fact that this is so close to me and it's the same borough that I live in is amazing. Anywhere else, this repair could have cost easily $300 or more. This is a really great place to come to. So now that we have our car fixed, we are gonna go park it and we're actually going to start running through the neighborhood on foot, and then there on we can kind of explore the neighborhood a little bit more in depth. This one window was like the one thing that was not functioning well, and now it does. Imagine that. Now I don't have to open the door when we go to McDonald's drive-thru. Awesome. We're here, and so we're gonna make a left now to turn to go around the stadium, and then we'll come back around, come back to the car, which is somewhere around here. All right, so we left our car parked here at the edge of the neighborhood. So that gives us an opportunity to really just get off the ground, experience it firsthand the area. So we're gonna walk around the perimeter of the neighborhood, which is not that big, to be honest with you, but it is very extremely cold. Fuck, it's cold! City Field, home of the Mets. Actually, we're back to where we wanted to be, and actually, I really want to talk to one of those guys. Cuéntame, tu trabajo acá, ¿cómo funciona? ¿Cómo te pagan aquí? ¿Trabajas
Por salario,
¿Trabajas siempre para el mismo taller?
para el mismo negocio.
El mismo taller, a ver. ¿Cuánto tiempo llevas haciendo esto acá?
No mucho.
¿No mucho?
Sí.
¿Y trabajas solo aquí parado haciendo esto? O
No,
también
trabajo
trabajas en el
adentro,
taller?
adentro, pero esto lo hago para hacer Han cambiado bastante porque cuando estaba en Shea Stadium,
Ajá.
so, la calle estaba muy abierta, más clientes,
Sí.
más carros venían, pero desde que hicieron el estadio Field, todo ha bajado, y especialmente que van a remover bastantes talleres que ya han removido de allá.
Sí.
So, mucha gente piensa de que ya el Junker ya no está, que
Sí.
ya no existe. So, cuando paras un carro ellos dicen, oh, está abierto el Junker
Sí.
o está cerrado. So, yo le digo, está abierto, estamos trabajando. Ah, está bien, entonces quiero arreglar mi carro.
José, muchísimas
Es un
gracias,
gusto.
hermano. Muchísimas gracias.
Dale.
So, we just talked to Jose, who's been working here for quite a while. And we got some really interesting insights as to what it's like to be one of these guys that is out here and kind of just hailing these down. And they actually work in the shop, but they actually do this as an extra income. But where do you go?
He left.
Oh, you got on the car?
He went in the car, yeah.
Oh, okay. I think what's left is just to walk through the neighborhood and kind of just absorb all the life that there is here and document everything that goes on in this neighborhood. So let's get a move on. Taking a look around here, I have to remind myself that I'm in New York City and that this is Queens, you know? Being here really makes me appreciate the reason why this place is called the Junker. I mean, formerly it's known as Willets Point, but this place is known colloquially as the Junker because it really is just full of stuff that people just discard here, and it's left for others to discover and salvage and use in other ways. Obviously, there's a lot of useless crap that nobody wants. And nobody bothers to clean it up because nobody cares about this place. It's really interesting to see what's left of what once was in this place. So right now we're on Willets Point Boulevard, which is the main, I guess the spinal cord of this place. It's really the main thoroughfare here. And right now we're passing through the Corona recycling yard. And basically, this is one of the biggest industries here in Willets Point. Basically, any new construction that takes place in the city, that kind of have to dig up from the ground to put in the foundation for the buildings. And so that land, that earth, they don't just discard it, they bring it over here. Alright guys, so I have shot another documentary here 2 years ago. Just wanted to kind of reflect on the things that have changed and the things that haven't changed ever since I shot that. Many things have changed in terms of like the psychology of this place. When I first came here, you know, some people, especially the gentleman that I interviewed back then, you know, they were aware of the changes that were about to happen here, but overall there was a general indifference to you know, the city's position in regards to this place and the incoming changes that we're about to be implementing. But now I feel that basically everyone here is really much more alert and paying attention to the new developments that, you know, arise as the city tries to kind of reimagine this place. Basically, in terms of the physicality of the place and the experience of being here is very much the same. Obviously, there are less businesses here than there were before. However, the vitality of this place remains intact. These people are still working really hard here. And another thing that hasn't changed is the amount of dust that is just being swirled up by the relentless wind that batters this place constantly. So there's a lot of just loose asphalt and dirt and dust just swirling around and getting into your face. But anyway, I just kind of wanted to reflect on that. If you want to check out the other documentary I did 2 years ago, you can check it out in the link that I put in the description of this video. You guys should check it out. It's a much more personal, I guess, telling of what this place is and what. Anyway, I just wanted to remark on that. We're still on Willets Point Boulevard, heading east, and then we should be hitting the river pretty shortly. So we're here at the other end of the recycling yard. Right next to it, you'll find the House of Spices, which is one of the biggest distributors of Indian foods and condiments in the United States. Certainly the biggest in New York State, I believe. It's a very heavily industrial workplace. It's not really a retail kind of environment where, you know, people can just walk about. There's certainly many dangers, and that's why we weren't allowed to shoot in there. That other giant warehouse you'll see is that's also Federa Foods. Federa Foods is also another large supplier of foods and condiments. But definitely two of the biggest employers and economic driving forces here in Willets Point. What their future is after this is all shut down, that remains to be seen. I don't know if they will be allowed to stay here as opposed to the rest of these informal, shops. But certainly, if they are displaced or moved or shut down for whatever reason, it will cause a significant impact, not just for the people of Willets Point, but for the community at large, the surrounding community that is employed by these two large food distributors. Pretty much be where we end our tour of this neighborhood. So as you can see, the roadways don't really have an exit for Willets Point. Another reason why it's really so obscure, I guess, for people that don't live in Queens, and even for people that live in Queens, it's not really a place that people come often to. basically the end of you can see the neighboring town of Flushing. It's obviously a completely different world from here. I think it's pretty much safe to say that we've walked all over Willets Point today. We've gotten many different stories, many different views, or rather different tellings of the same view. I feel like people here have a pretty cohesive idea of what their community is and what it means to them and to the city at large. Alright guys, so as you can see, we've reached Flushing River and then the neighboring town of Flushing. Guys, before I go, I just want to mention something, just full disclosure. Now I know that today I took you guys on a bit of a different course, and we kind of saw a different neighborhood from the other stuff that we've seen before. And you know, the purpose of this show is basically to show you the full picture of what New York City is. And yes, New York City can be glamorous and full of you know, attractions and monuments and museums and so forth, but New York City is also really gritty and full of hardworking people that, you know, bust their ass every day just to put food on the table. And you know, I would be remiss if I didn't try to document the lives of these people before Willets Point is, you know, completely redeveloped and stops existing as we know it today. So yes, I just wanted to thank you guys for joining me today, and please join us on the next episode. Subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram. I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Until then, see ya.